So here's the first thing that's new with Google Docs, and that's that you can change it from a regular page to pageless. So you'll go down here to page setup and change it to pageless. Okay, that way it's not stopping you with any margins or anything. And a great example of how you can use that is something like this table that I have. It can go across as far as we want. And you can see how much easier that's going to be to work with than if you have a lot of information that's really horizontal and it all needs to fit on one page. This is a little bit better for things that you know you're just going to be using on a device. Another new cool feature in Google Docs is something they call smart chips. And the way that works is if you use the @ symbol, you could already tag people. But what you can also do now is tag documents and have access to those documents. You also have access to many of the toolbar items like headings, page numbers, etc. They also have a couple cool new building blocks, they're called, which you can utilize. One of them is called a product roadmap, and it allows you to just keep track of some project management. And then very similar to this is something called the review tracker, where it has a pre-made table that you can fill in with people's names and statuses of project and other kinds of work. Another new feature is something you'll find in the insert menu called the dropdown. So we saw some drop downs in the smart chips, but these are ones that allow you to create your own. So you can maybe have something like t-shirt sizes, and then once you have that, you can always edit it by clicking here to edit and add. You could also select it, copy it, and duplicate it as many times as you need to. Then you can go ahead and select whatever you need for each member of your list or item on your list. The last thing we wanted to share with the new features in Google Docs are some new things you can do when you're working with tables. So a lot of the things that we can do here, you've been able to do in Google Sheets, but not necessarily in a table in Google Docs. So first of all, you'll see I have a class list table here already made. One of the things I did with this table is create my own little drop-down menus, just like I showed you in the last section, which can be really convenient. Now let's take a look at some of the new table features. You'll notice there's these little icons here next to your row and then next to your column. So one of the things that really comes in handy is this one, where it pins the header up to this row. If I select that, then when I have a table that goes beyond one page, it lets that row come to the top of each of my table sets. Okay, another thing is an easy plus sign to insert a row below. And the last thing on the rows over here is just something that allows you to move. So if I just wanted to shift my rows a little bit. Okay, similar with the columns, over here we have something like you would see in Google Sheets, which is a sort. So let me go ahead and sort my students by last name, and I'm going to go ahead and sort ascending, and now my list is in alphabetical order. Same thing, I can insert a column to the right or left, and then I can use this to move, so if I wanted the last name. So those are just some of the changes and updates to Google Docs. If you want to learn more, you can always go to the help menu and look through the documentation from Google Docs, or obviously Google searches and YouTube searches, and of course subscribe and like this video, and I'll try to keep posting more.